And now, the Lafayette Food Junkie Show, served up medium rare every Sunday night.
Welcome to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Deku. Here we talk about all the food happenings around Acadiana. If you like food, tune in. You might learn something new. Gorgeous Mother's Day out there. We could not have asked for better weather. Better weather.
It's okay.
We'll try that again. Joining tonight as guest co-host is our favorite guest co-host, Chef Jesse Ryder.
Favorite? I like that crown.
I think that you win the award for the most guest co-hosts.
Does that just mean because am I just most available?
No, it's because we love you to have you on the show. You and Paul. Paul's actually coming next week. Paul Credo is going to come on the show next week. But I think you two are in the running for most beloved guest co-hosts of the show.
That's like every facet of life. Him and I are in an ever going competition.
We need to have a reunion show and have y'all both on.
I mean, that's
at the same time.
That's up to you. All you have to do is invite us. You know we show up.
Maybe we should, because last time Paul came on, Tony came with him.
Oh, Tony did.
Yeah, so I think that we should arrange this for a future show.
Well, you know.
It'll be in the works.
We could do it on site somewhere with a barbecue pit.
It's Mother's Day, and one of the advantages of having your own radio show is that you get to wish your mother Happy Mother's Day over the air. So I want to wish Babette a Happy Mother's Day. She is in Kentucky. I love her. I hope to one day have the tenacity and spunk level that she has, because though she is small in stature, she can rip your heart out if needed.
All mothers have that.
If you mess with her children. And last year, I used to do this on the Lafayette Food Junkie page on Facebook. I would put everyone's favorite thing, like I would have them say what their favorite thing was that their mom made.
Right.
And last year, it took a strange turn in that most people were like, my mom wasn't that great a cook, which I was kind of like, what just happened here? But
my mom is like an awesome cook if she actually pays attention, like if she stays with it. She gets she's always got 10 things going on, but she focuses. She can make a mean baked chicken with a little grease gravy. However, most of it comes out burnt on one side.
My mom makes killer mashed potatoes. She worked when I was growing up, so
right.
She didn't really cook a lot. It was a lot of like fast made stuff, but she does killer mashed potatoes, chicken and dumplings, which you don't find a lot around here, but hers are fabulous. And then her lumpia, which is what we get for special occasions, which, by the way, she made for my birthday this year.
I remember.
And she kept telling me not to video her. And also, I found out later, put 20 spices on the thing that she didn't even use. So I couldn't get the recipe to show her how to do that. And I'm like, you need to show me how to. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go to Mamaw and get the recipe from her. You're
going to go above her head?
Yeah, because my grandmother has the recipe. But yeah, she totally put a bunch of spices on, and then she would like turn her back. So I couldn't see like what she was putting in there. So I have no idea.
Wait, she wants to make you work for that family secret, girl.
So you want to wish your mom? Did you get to see your mom today?
I did. My mom actually had some mouth surgery the last couple of days, and I had went ahead and made her a really, really nice vegetable soup last night that I could puree, because I think, and it's hard to believe this, but I'm pretty sure she's tired of eating ice cream. So I made that for her last night, and we had it again today for lunch, and I visited with her for a while. It was nice. I have a slew, a literal plethora of puppies. So, we were all over there, and she was enjoying some puppy time and actually having some real food.
Nice. Well, that's sweet.
And then also to Miss Taylor and her mom and them, my lady friend, I went over to there and visited with them for a minute before I shot out here. So happy Mother's Day to all of them, too.
You're so sweet.
Yeah.
So we need to mention the passing of a gumbo legend.
Listen, I was in a funk for a whole day for this.
Yeah, Mr. Carol Boudin, otherwise known as Pops from Charlie G's, passed this week. And I know that you and Paul...
Listen, a lot of great chefs in Lafayette spent, several week mornings with Pop on Tuesday and Wednesday making gumbo. And it's just sad. It's just, he literally is the face of that gumbo. And that stuff has carried that restaurant to great levels. You know what I'm saying? Like he was an absolute cornerstone for that establishment, and they loved him and treated him well there. You know. We all did.
That's one of my favorite gumbos. And Paul Credo said he knows the recipe, so at least the recipe will live on.
Yeah, a couple people they filmed him. You can YouTube Pop making the gumbo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just it's something about how your dad's gumbo is always going to be better than yours, and your papa's crawfish is always going to be better than yours, and your Mimo is always going to make a better dinner roll. It has something to do with the hands, the love that goes into it, and just. It's the intangible stuff, So. And
you were saying that you had some special memories of him. Can you share some on the air?
It's just we just carried along. I don't know if I can say most of the stuff that we talked about. It was just he was just a good old man to sit around and talk about the good times and the rough times with. He was just. He was always down to listen just as much as he talked, If you could understand what he was saying, there was a little bit of wisdom in what he had too. So he was just good people.
Was he with the restaurant since they had opened?
I'm sure he came with the building. I'm not 100% sure how long he had been working there, but I'm pretty sure it's been the whole 30 years, 31 years or whatever.
Nice.
So wow.
Yeah. All right, we are going to take our first break, and when we come back, we have Kerry Kennedy with Basin Blend, who is going to be talking about his GoFundMe. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
From Boudin to the best burgers Acadiana has to offer, it's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Deku, and joining tonight as guest co-host is Chef Jesse Ryder. We're about to bring Kerry Kennedy on with Basin Blend, but before that, I meant to ask Jesse about this in the last segment, and we're going to get him to recreate the monologue.
She always does this to me. She always does this to me.
But with less profanity. So what I had wanted to ask you was, I know that Mother's Day is one of the most hated days in the food industry, and do you want to tell us why?
Okay, well, there's a couple different reasons, and on the most human level, your family understands that this is your job, and pretty much every holiday that people go out to eat for, if you're serious about what you do, you're there for the holidays and big shifts and stuff. And like I was previously mentioning with much profane emphasis, was that
and passion.
Yeah, I was passionate about it because it's about your mom is the one person that's always there for you. You know what I'm saying? You owe her 9 months of rent that you could never pay her back for. You know what I'm saying? And so your dad, their Father's Day or whatever, he really just wants a socket set or a new fishing rod. But your mom wants that sentimentality. She wants that not a lot of money spent. But at the same time, you want to be thinking about her for a little. She wants to know that you're the center for a minute, or she's the center for a minute. And these restaurants, they rob you of that, because you have to. Not only do you not get to do for your mom, but you're going to do for some other usually unpleasant customer's mom. And the moms are sweet and they're always caring. And I've seen them tap busboys on the shoulder and tell them how great a job they're doing in the most swamped Vietnam-esque brunch type situations, and it's just sad because it's the most savagery happens, and it's realistically, all the people that want to be there, or all the people that are there, none of them want to be there.
And you said Easter was a close second.
Easter's a close second.
In general.
Well, because Easter, you got your mom and your grandma in the same place at the same time, typically, and it's oh, you missed out on both of those? Jesus. It's just rough. It's the Christmas is whatever. People's parents work offshore and out of state and stuff. They celebrate Christmas for a week and a half long. It's no big deal, but it's Mother's Day is Mother's Day. It's not, and it has more than Valentine's Day to it. People are Valentine's Day is whatever, but Mother's Day, they make sure that on that Sunday, you around for that.
All right. And on that note, we're going to welcome Kerry Kennedy with Basin Blend on the show.
Kerry, I thought you were going to back me up on that.
I'm just letting you talk. You can dig your own hole right there.
And you celebrated with Mom today as well.
Oh, yeah. We had brunch today. It was nice. It was pleasant. But yeah, y'all got a chance to call out to y'all's mom, so I want to do the same.
Yeah, absolutely.
Please do.
Debbie, my mom, thank you for for being there for me at all times. Happy Mother's Day. And in fact, my mom has been such a huge encouragement all throughout this process
so
of
sweet.
creating Basin Blend and bringing it to the market. She helps me all the time,
Does
every
she
week.
hate salt also?
Well, it's kind of my whole family right now. A couple of years ago, my dad had a pretty serious heart attack, so the whole family has been kind of transitioning away from salt, trying to just reduce that in our diets.
Well,
And that's where the idea for Basin Blend came about.
Yeah.
Creating a seasoning blend that does not have the salt.
Right. It's a little more heart healthy, a little bit. It's got a strong flavor, so you can still use it without the salt and still have that great tasting Cajun food.
Right.
And if you want some salt, you can actually put that back in yourself. The important thing is that you have control and that you know how much is in there.
Right. Mr. Tony Sastry isn't deciding how much sodium you need with your chicken.
Right. So you get to determine how much is in there.
Exactly. It's wonderful.
And you guys are one of the first tenants of the Acadiana Incubator
That's
Kitchen.
right.
Zach McMath's come on the show and talked about it a few times. You guys are coming out of there. I know that Cajun Mama is set up in there, and there's also a Wing Finger.
Yeah, Wing Finger's a new food truck out of there.
Food truck that's coming out of there. So you guys have a GoFundMe going on to help with the development. So you want
That's
to talk
right.
about that a little bit?
So the Food Hub and the Acadiana Incubator Kitchen, they have all kinds of equipment for small food producers.
Right.
Like the 45-quart mixers. They've got tables. They've got everything that you really need to get going. But what we don't have right now is bottling equipment. So we don't have a way to package the stuff once it's made. And we're raising funds right now for the Incubator Kitchen to purchase a bottling machine. So this is something that I'll be able to use for Basin Blend.
Right.
That other tenants will be able to use for
But
what
you'll
they're
be sharing
doing.
it.
And the great thing about this machine can do anything from powdered sugar up to coffee beans.
Oh, wow.
So it can do a lot of different sizes.
A lot of different
and
grades,
pieces.
right.
Exactly. And so we'll be able to let a lot of different people use it. So it's going to benefit not just one person, but about, 20, 30, however many are in there.
It's
by
like
the
a
time we're up and
community
running.
garden,
Yeah.
but it's a community kitchen.
Exactly.
I love that.
And it's a shared use, so we're going to all benefit there, and the entire Acadiana community is going to benefit from it.
That's
So
fantastic.
the GoFundMe is going on now. It ends on June 17th. Where can people go to donate?
So you can get some information at basinblend.com/donate. That'll have all the information and a link to the GoFundMe campaign to donate there. You can also go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/basinblend. We'll have more information there and some more links too.
Awesome.
And you've been selling Basin Blend at the different farmers markets. You said it's also available in certain grocery stores.
Yesterday we were at the Youngsville Farmers Market at Sugar Mill Pond. I love going there. We're there every month. So it's a lot of fun. You can also get it in Lafayette at Fresh Pickens, in Youngsville at Nunu's, and in New Iberia at Daspit.
And you're actually sold out right now.
Yeah, I was going to say,
we're sold out.
apparently we
I've
can't get any.
I sold out yesterday, so I'm actually going to be making some more this week, trying to get that back so we can restock some shelves.
Nice.
But I wanted to bring some to you guys here.
Tiffany was saying
Sorry
that was
about
that's a good problem to have.
It is a very
It's a good problem to have. Still not a fun problem to have.
No. It adds a certain urgency to the
Yeah,
situation,
yeah.
I'm sure.
You actually sent me a bottle a while back, and I used it. I made, we were talking about this before the show, I did a roasted chickpea with quinoa and then grilled chicken breasts, and I used the seasoning blend in the quinoa and the chickpea.
See, to me, that sounds great.
Yeah, Jesse doesn't agree. But then Jesse also mentioned something about feta cheese, which I thought would be nice.
The only way
Actually,
that would
yeah.
be palatable, put some maybe little baby heirloom tomatoes in there, some feta cheese, perhaps some some fresh basil, or maybe some fresh spinach, something like that.
Yeah, that might help bring it all out and bring it all together.
Yeah.
Maybe some dried peaches.
Ooh, I don't know
Little
how I
sweet in
feel
there?
about that, but that's very Persian with that in there.
You said quinoa.
Yeah, that's I don't know, like the texture. I don't know.
That's fine.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm picturing giant
No.
pieces. You'd have to chop
I'm
them
talking,
up.
Yeah.
Chop them up.
Little diced peaches.
You cook that with your garlic and your onions in the beginning. You put your quinoa in that. You cook that down with your veggie stock. It'll be just like cranberries, but better.
We have a couple recipes already made on our website. So if you go to basinblend.com, there are a couple recipes that we've tried. And I'm not a chef. Like you're definitely the chef. But
Some people call me that. I don't say that.
I like to experiment and try things out.
Yeah.
So these are things that I've tried out just to give people some ideas of what they can cook with and how Basin Blend works. So if you're ever interested, you want to try it again. I don't think we have any with quinoa. We should probably get some with quinoa though. It's popular.
Yeah.
Has anyone that has purchased it come back and told you some different things that they've used it for?
Constantly. And I love that. I get that every time I'm talking to people about it. Someone comes up and says, "Oh, I made this. I made that."
Well, that's what the good thing about seasoning in South Louisiana is. They have their set in their ways type thing, but they're not scared to go outside of it.
They're going to try things. They're going to try new things.
Down here. You know, you never met a Cajun that only barbecued one way.
No, they'll barbecue 8 different ways.
That's it.
Yeah. And I love it. I love it when people come back and say, "Oh, I made this fantastic meatloaf with this." And
then down here with all if it's a good herb blend with all the different ways that we smoke everything, that's right up. You know, that's right in that alley.
And it really fits in with a healthy lifestyle too. And I know a lot of people right now are dealing with things like high blood pressure or any kind of heart disease. And that's actually how I got into this. Was a couple of years ago, my dad had a pretty serious heart attack. Yeah. And it was a big wake up call for my whole family. So we wanted to try to cut back on the salt as much as possible. Right. And that's kind of what Basin Blend was for us. And it just gives people that opportunity to...
Without sacrificing flavor.
Right. Without sacrificing some.
How does it feel to be one of the first tenants in the Acadiana incubator kitchen?
It's exciting. We are at the ground floor. I get to see everything happening.
I'm sure it's very buzzy there.
Right now, things are happening every single day. Every time I'm there, something new is in there. Something new has been brought in and installed. So exciting. And it is. It's
so exciting.
I went a couple weeks ago. I went just to bring some of my supplies in, and then I came back the very next day, and I was going to do a little Facebook Live promo for the GoFundMe. And already there were new things in there, and I kept stumbling over stuff because I wasn't expecting that to be there. I hadn't seen it the day before.
Nice.
That's cool.
Okay, so GoFundMe ends on June 17th, and tell us again where we can go to help out with that.
Go to basinblend.com/donate.
Kerry, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, we're going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more with Jesse Ryder. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The best tasting radio show in all of South Louisiana. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Deku, and we've been talking with Jesse Ryder tonight, who has Bob's Burgers on.
Of course I do.
Which it is very fitting because it is a food-related show.
It's food-related. You can't argue that.
But it is a little distracting because I keep wanting to look at it.
It's on mute.
Bread and Circus just had their Bob's Burger pop-up last night. And
listen, your last guest he went to have the burgers and didn't even know what the names of the burgers were. I'm very disappointed.
Because that's part of the fun. Do you have the Bob's Burger? There's a Bob's Burger recipe, like a cookbook.
I don't have the cookbook, but I have more than one time looked on the little thing, the list on Facebook, and read through all the "You Feta Believe It" and all those crazy burgers. It's awesome.
So a few weeks ago, I made my first rice and gravy, and I remember texting you while I was doing it.
Yes, I remember
telling you
this.
Not to laugh at me. Some things that I do need to change for next time because the gravy was a little too thick.
A little thick.
And it made it a little too salty. But it was also deer, so you have to cook so long.
Okay, it's like you say that, and I'm like, it's deer, so you just cook it. The normal amount of time because we smother everything for 3 hours where I come from. This is natural.
I feel like I smothered it longer than 3 hours.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no wrong amount of...
Next time I will definitely be cooking it a little bit longer because it did get tender, but it wasn't as tender as I would have liked it.
How you smothered it for 3 hours and it wasn't tender, my girl?
Because I don't know.
Okay, listen, tough. All you have to do is buy the beer. I told you I'll come sit with you and we'll cook a gravy. It's
You'll teach me. How do you feel about the fact that I put it over smothered cabbage?
I'm okay with that. Listen, at least you didn't put it over quinoa.
I did do a gumbo with quinoa one time.
Don't break my heart. Don't say things like that.
I called it hipster gumbo.
Can we I'm going to just erase that from my memory and pretend you never said that to me.
Hey, my friend has a grandmother from Kaplan that has been doing her gravies with quinoa. So if a grandmother from Kaplan
I'm sure her cardiologist is the one who inspired her to do that.
Quinoa,
you know,
I think that it's okay to try new things sometimes.
Why would you think that's okay? She's been cooking for 40 years longer than you've been alive. How would you think that you have some sort of reference to what her judgment is?
I'm just saying, like, if she knows what she's doing and if she will try it, it must be worthy of it. So something that's been quite a conundrum to me lately, what is 7-steak gravy?
Okay, well, it's like the quintessential beef cut for if you have 11 kids in the country to feed because they all been running around outside and they smell like puppies. It's like you go to the meat market and they call it 7-steak because it's like a round steak cut, but it's the whole like leg. So it's got like 7 muscle groups on it.
Is it completely flat?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it?
It's like
it's
like the biggest round. It's like the exactly.
Steak.
It looks
Does
like
it have the little
bone in the middle?
Okay, I have seen those then.
But they cut them smaller than that. Like when they cut that big slice, they'll cut that up, and they'll still call it 7-steak packaging because it's just like the original. It's just a style of cut.
Okay, and so it's 7-steak because of the joints.
Yeah.
Okay. See, could not figure this out. I didn't know if it was because there was 7 small steaks in there, and they called it 7 steaks for that reason. I could not figure out, and you just solved it for us.
Yay.
Learning all kinds of Cajun new things with Chef Jesse Ryder.
That's it.
You're still doing your cooking classes at Rouse's, is that correct?
Sure enough, man. I had 25 people sneak in on me the other night.
Really?
Well, yeah. Well, you plan those things for like about 12 to 16 because you have to like kind of guess how much people are going to show or how many people are going to show up, you know. And I turned my back to the room and I started cutting up some onions and stuff. And I turned back around and there was 25 dang people in there. And it's I only had a couple of steaks, only had a couple of pots. I had to start, you start doing in your mind, you're like, how am I going to stretch this out between all these dang people?
Do they let you go get more?
They do, but it's kind of, you give them a recipe and start. So if you start cooking like 8 times what the amount of the recipe is, and you have to start doing those conversions on the fly, and then you have to plate for 25 people while they're watching you, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. Even for someone so experienced like I am, right? But it went well. I won't lie, I undercooked my steak a little bit, but who doesn't like a big old bone-in rare piece of ribeye? And the marinade for it was super good, so they can all...
You did a shaking beef? Is that what you said?
Shaking Thai beef. And it's just like a bunch of fish sauce and butter and soy sauce and some pepper and stuff. And what you do is you just salt your beef and you just sear the heck out of it in a cast iron pot. And when you flip it over, you throw a bunch of butter and all that sauce in there and you just keep basting it for a little bit and you pull them out and you let them rest. And what I did was I reduced the leftovers and I'd use that as a little drizzle at the end. And I cooked some jasmine rice and I made a really, really nice little onion and cucumber salad. And it had like a sweet chili vinaigrette type thing that I made on it. It was very nice.
That sounds delicious.
It was, and it was pretty healthy too. But like I said, I had 2 really nice sized bone-in ribeyes that I was gonna cut into 16 portions. That I then cut into 25 portions or 26, excuse me. So like I said, it was a little nerve-wracking, but
had a little bit of a challenge going on.
Yeah, it's like if an Iron Chef in the middle of the match. They told you had to cook for 8 judges instead of 4. And you're like, oh, I just have to double my idea. Great. Got it. No problem. But whatever. I survived, and everybody seemed awful happy. So Rouse still paid me.
So you're doing the cooking classes twice a month. Is that correct? Is there a way that people can go to find out what you'll be cooking and when you're going to be there?
I mean, I could tell them, but I'd have to kill them. No.
Nice. No one comes to Jesse's class.
No, there's a little board near the little Rouse's Kitchen, the one in Youngsville. It says not just me, but all the amazing, like really amazing chefs that cook on that board. That it shows all our dates and times. Holly usually has a lockdown on Saturday morning. She always puts together a great little class. I can't. Okay, of course I'm drawing blanks right now. Like Tuesday does some classes from Indulge, and Kyle Canella does some classes. He's just like a private chef out in I want to say Broussard, but he's a good partner of mine. All some super talented chefs, and they all just make really good food. So I mean, you get out there for any one of the classes, you're winning. It's free.
Nice. I'm gonna have to go. I checked out one of your classes one time.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
It was good, and I'll have to go. make the venture to Youngsville and check it out again one of these days.
Yeah, I'll get you a VIP spot in the front. I got a whole little group of ladies that hassle me. They haggle me the whole time.
You have a following. You definitely have a following.
A little fan club or something.
I judged Lafayette's first pizza competition this past Friday, Pizza Palooza.
How was that?
They had 6 competing restaurants, and best crust went to BJ's Pizza. Best sauce went to Rochetto's, which I'll agree. I love Rochetto's marinara sauce. And then most unique pizza was Dino's.
Yeah.
And it was the Asian Samurai, Cajun Samurai, which was really good. But they bribed us with that fried Oreo, and it was pretty much made my life that night. I was like, who cares about this pizza? I just want this fried Oreo right here.
It's like, y'all should have brought 2. Y'all could have got first place.
That was the first time that I've ever had a fried Oreo.
Get out of here.
And it was delicious.
Fried Oreos, fried Snickers bars for life.
Fried Snickers are disgusting.
You're out. You're wrong.
It's like diabetes.
You're wrong. You just, whoever did it for you did it wrong. It's okay, though.
Oreos are delicious. And Dino's has them on the menu there, and they're so good. And the Asian Samurai, the Cajun, is it Cajun Samurai?
Cajun
Samurai was really good. The crust is different than their normal pizza crust, but I'm thinking that it's the crust that they use for their burgers. Like they do the pizza burgers.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be.
Yeah, so it
that
was
thin
a
crust.
little different. And see, Bread and Circus was there, and they didn't compete, which I think was smart because they would have won. I feel like they would have won. They were there serving pasta.
They probably didn't compete because they couldn't bring their brick oven with them. You know, their pizza recipe is awesome, but that brick oven makes it.
Yeah. So because I kept, like, when I was judging it and I saw the restaurants competing, I was like, come on, Bread and Circus is going to win. But they didn't compete. So I was nice.
He probably wanted to let everybody have one more year before he whops every medal in Lafayette.
But I hope that next year more pizza restaurants compete because we have so many here in Lafayette.
I'm about to say we got a dozen good places to get a slice.
Like also, they should all do like pepperoni pizza. So you're judging on the crust and the marinara sauce.
Do the pizza you're known for. Specialty pizzas is the way to go.
Really? Okay,
yes.
So that's what they did at this event.
Good.
But I was like, maybe they should
Who wants to eat 15 crawfish etouffees when I could have it crawfish the way you cook it best?
Okay,
like, who wants, you know?
That's true. I see that logic in that.
That's just me. That's just me.
That if you do it that way, you could better judge on crust and the marinara sauce. Because a lot of the pizzas didn't have marinara sauce.
Yeah, but it's not a pizza crust competition and it's not a pizza marinara competition, but it's a pizza competition with sublets.
Yeah, but that was what we were judging on. Best crust, best sauce, and most unique pizza.
Well, maybe they should just give y'all better rules.
It was the inaugural one. I'm sure next year
you need to help. You need to help them iron out some of them kinks, my girl.
Kinks. But it was so fun. It was in the oil
I'm
center.
sure it was a bunch of good people there too. That's all a good crowd.
It had like a carnival feel to it. It was like real kid friendly. So it was nice. So I hope that it continues on to next year and they get more pizza places that compete. Who has your favorite pizza in Lafayette? Don't say Bread and Circus. Like besides Bread and Circus.
My favorite pizza in Lafayette. I don't know.
A lot of my friends are Pizza Village fans.
I was about to say, I want to say Pizza Village. I like Dino's a lot, though, man. I used to work at Dino's. They have my heart. And for a long time, I thought Cafe Roma, before they were Romacelli, they had really, really awesome pizza.
They were one of the competing restaurants.
But this fallen off over the years. But that used to be a really, really, they're just awesome dough.
I like their pizzas. I mean, I haven't had them recently.
Probably
like
Dino's if I had to choose like an absolute fave.
See, there is no bad pizza in my book. Yeah,
we were talking about even dollar pizzas from Walmart. If you could, there's there.
But not all pizzas created equal. And I like Dino's, but Dino's is like all about the toppings. Like, so it's really like how much toppings can we pile on this pizza, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
That's kind of my life is toppings.
And they also are really unique with their pizzas. They get creative with the toppings. So I enjoy that aspect of it. But I like Pizza Village crust, the Dupuis special, which has like the hamburger.
Of course, I love BJ's a lot too. I'm a huge fan of BJ's as well. I love that. What is it, Marie Laveau? No,
that's Dino's.
No, that's not what I'm thinking of. It's the little French bread thing that they do at BJ's.
Oh yeah.
The Prima. No, what is it called?
I know what you're talking about though.
I can't think of what it is.
It's almost like a pizza on the French bread.
On the French bread, they're so good. They got like jalapenos, and pepperoni, and shrimp on it.
Does something like that on the French bread, and it has ranch dressing and then provolone cheese. That I used to eat
that with one of those pickled peppers. Oh my goodness, girl.
That was a lifelong
sausage ball.
Just loved to eat that. It was so good. I checked out the low carb boudin
from T-Boys out in the Mamu.
The rounds very close to you guys.
That's right in my stomping ground, Sha.
When I did the afternoon show Friday here at the station, they had some. I had it cold, which I would not recommend having it cold.
Bro, yeah, it's cauliflower.
Yeah, you could taste the cauliflower a lot more, and there was some serious texture issues.
Right, but when it's warm, I hear it's very fibrous, but kind of creamy, so,
Well, so I posted on the Facebook page if people would eat it, and a lot of them were like, yes, oh my God, this is exciting. It's like the second coming of boudin. But then when I actually posted it, some people had tried it and they were like, it really tastes like cauliflower. And this is my whole thing. It's good. Just like cauliflower crust pizza is good if you're doing low carb. But if you're not doing low carb, don't eat it.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, the thing about, I agree with you. The thing about it is it's like if you're already eating healthy food tastes good to you because you're in that mode already. So if you're eating McDonald's every day and you go eat some low-carb boudin, you're going to have like such a huge drop-off. But if you've been eating right, that stuff is way more appealing to you. And the little mental aspect is you overcome it. That's where like the textural thing usually comes from.
I also had one of my followers tell me that Champagnes and Karen Crow has been doing low-carb boudin for a few years now.
I wonder why they chose cauliflower instead of brown rice.
Well, because it's low carb. The brown rice is still going to have that carb aspect to it. Also, I feel like that would be way too chewy with the brown rice. I mean,
I'm sure there's a way around it.
I was also mentioning
we've been manipulating rice on 6 continents for like 1,000 years.
I don't typically eat the casing on the boudin anyway.
Because you're a girl.
And with the cauliflower one, you definitely can't. Like it's with the texture and everything. It's a little too much. Listen, you're
talking to a boy that used to eat boiled eggs and boudin and go trail ride, and tell me I can't eat it.
Well, you need to go try it so you can.
I will. I'm going this week. Next week. I'm spending the week in Baton Rouge. So.
All right. We're going to take another break, and when we come back, we have more with Jesse Ryder. So come back to us. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
And now, we talk about food. It's the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Welcome back to the Lafayette Food Junkie Show on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. I'm your host, Tiffany Daku, and joining us tonight as guest co-host has been Chef Jesse Ryder. Always a treat. He's just gonna laugh.
That's it. That's all I can do.
Just gonna laugh. I want to give a shout out to Taco Sisters. I always go and get the chorizo breakfast bowl. I'm so obsessed with it, but lately, last time I went, I wanted to try the breakfast quesadilla.
Yeah,
and
how was that?
One of the best things that I've eaten in a long time. It was so filling. It's on a whole wheat tortilla. It's got the eggs, potatoes, chimichurri sauce,
the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, and then it comes with this black bean sour cream kind of dipping sauce.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it was so good. I wish that they were closer to me because it's kind of across town.
How do you live across town from both Taco Sisters?
Well, no, like the one that they just opened is closer, but they don't serve breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the one in Freetown is the one that serves breakfast.
La Original.
So it's a little, I mean, it's not that far, but I mean, in morning traffic,
In breakfast terms, it's an eternity away.
Yeah, but it was so good. Have you eaten a lot of Taco Sisters?
When I was staying in Lafayette a little bit more frequently, me and my buddy PJ used to go all the time. But nice. I always get breakfast burritos. I'm a sucker.
That's what I was going for. And apparently Acme Taco is not doing them anymore. And because the last time I went, there was a sign saying like no breakfast today, but it looks like that they have not been doing. And if I want a breakfast burrito, I want to go there because they're
what's crazy is like
amazing.
the breakfast game in Lafayette is so strong, but it's like so spread out. You know what I'm saying? There's a few places that they have. You have to wait in line for like 45 minutes to get breakfast. Like, who has time for that?
Yeah. Well,
I've been killing French toast at home in my cast iron pan. That's real.
Really?
Oh, destroying the French toast game.
Is the secret the cast iron?
I don't know. I think the secret is the Jesse, but I mean, it could be it could be the cast iron. I don't know. It certainly doesn't hurt.
Man, I haven't had French toast.
Oh, I've been doing it with actual French loaves. It's been nice. A little powdered sugar on top. I made a little whiskey and infused syrup on a batch the other morning for maybe my special lady. So it was nice. It was good. It's a good touch.
Getting fancy.
Well, that's what you get when you bring home a chef, you know?
I've been having problems sleeping lately, and I've been trying to find different sleep remedies. And typically I'll drink sleepy time tea.
Have you tried meatball subs?
I have not, but I'm
knock you right out.
Considering that I'm also doing a fast diet, I don't think that'll help.
Well, tofu meatballs, whatever.
That would be, the best thing for me. But I had some chamomile tea and knocked me out. Like it did really good. It wasn't even the sleepy time. It was just straight up chamomile tea. And then I only had one thing of it. I thought I had more, and I had actually stolen it from a hotel that I had stayed in Austin. So anytime I go to a hotel, I clear them of tea and coffee.
Some people take towels.
I take the coffee and the tea. So I only had one thing, and I had peppermint tea, and I thought that it would work the same way.
No, it got you.
It did not. So I need to go get some more chamomile tea. But I was wondering if you had any remedies besides alcohol.
Food related? No, man. I don't sleep worth a darn. However, I've just been newly introduced to these things called white noise machines. And it basically sounds like a fan in your grandma's house.
I mean, you definitely have to have a fan on at all times.
Well, I know, but what I'm saying is this thing just literally does, and it's like, oh, I was super energetic 5 minutes ago. Now I can't hold my eyes open. Like, I can't read a book with that thing on, like, realistically.
Man.
Knocks me right out.
I want to have that problem.
I mean, I still wake up 35 times a night because I'm just, like, that's just how I am, but.
Man, I want to have that problem.
I'm telling you, so it worked so good. I went and get me a fan for my room that has a white noise machine so I can take naps on my couch. But I know that's not food related. I'm just saying that's the ticket. Throw in a turkey sub with that.
Nice. No subs for me though.
Yeah.
That won't be happening.
What are you gonna put it on some kind of crazy low carb bread?
So my goal this year is to finally learn how to properly sear a steak. What tips do you have for me?
Buy 100 of them.
Really?
Cook a lot of them. That's the only advice. The only thing is
that's what the problem is steak is kind of expensive.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't want to mess it up.
Go to Costco, get you a rack, get Paulie to cut it for you or me, whoever's around, and try a bunch of times and try with people who know what they're doing around so they can be like, okay, you almost got it, or you're not close, because it's like one of those things that no matter how many thermometers or how many how-tos or what, if you don't do it a few times and if you don't do it often, you get out of practice, man. It's tough. Steaks are hard. It's like reading, I don't know. It's like reading the wind on a golf course. You have to look at it and understand it.
So you were saying for a rare steak, you would do it only in the pan and not finish it in the oven.
No, yeah, rare, mid-rare. I like to keep that in a pan. I've also been cooking steaks for 20 years, Mm-hmm. So
and get the pan as hot as possible.
Get it super hot. You sear it real good. And then, you lower your temperature and you let it kind of roast for a second on the fire. And then you pull it out and let it rest. Let your steak rest. You'll figure out that you like medium. If you think you normally like a medium well or well done steak, cook it medium and let it rest for 10 minutes. You'll get the same texture steak, but it'll be way juicier and way more delicious,
See, I'm getting better. It's the heat of the pan that I'm not getting.
It's hard. I bet you're doing it on an electric stove too.
Yeah.
It's very difficult.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I have. So I gotta work with what I have.
You got to understand, red meat was like fire's red, meat's red. It's meant to be together. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a marriage made in the very beginning of time. Man was like, fire, hot. Meat, cold. And, they put it together and was like, oh, and then civilization blooms from that. Like, this is how it works,
Master of None started again this past week.
I love NCs.
Okay. Oh, so did you watch season 1?
No.
Okay. Well, you need to watch.
I didn't have access to anything. I just got a phone for the first time in 2.5 years. Y'all be cool. I'll catch up.
So season 2 just started, and when he left season 1, he was going through a breakup, and he decided he wanted to go to Italy to learn how to make pasta.
Yeah.
So I'm only 2 episodes in, but it's very food centered this season. And episode 2 made me very much want to move to Italy to learn how to make pasta from an old Italian grandmother. If you had to just drop everything and move somewhere,
I want to go to Spain and learn how to cook meat in big fire pits like they do it. I've thought about this before.
Okay, so
like
that's
Argentina,
what I was trying to decide. It was either going to be Spain, just to learn more about their cheeses and the chorizo, the cured meats, and ham.
And not just that, but they're like the kings of roasting whole beasts. Like, how much more power can you get in cooking than having a giant pit dug, having a fire, and making a braise that's 11 feet wide so you can roast a whole cow and big old a lamb on a spigot.
See, or it would be France to learn how to make pastries and again cheese and wine and all of that. So it'd be.
I'm never going to any kind of pastry school.
Yeah, France or Spain, I feel like. And then he made me want to go to Italy. The episode 2 is very. I'm interested to see where it progresses. But he just finished his apprenticeship and he's going back to New York.
I wouldn't go to Italy. I would go to one of the islands like Sicily or something where they do all the I hate olives, but I'd go grow them. Or where they grow their tomatoes, in places that don't have anything but boats that go to them.
I think what I'm saying? What it would be.
Grape orchards.
I would learn to make cheese.
There's a girl I went to high school with named Lauren Fuselier that's a cheesemonger up in New York City.
Really?
Yeah, I don't keep too good in touch with her, but I mean, it's not. If you dream it, you can achieve it.
I mean, you picked up and moved to New York at one time.
Gosh, yeah, I did a couple times.
What was that like?
Hard. It was not very easy.
But you got to cook with a lot of fresh
got to cook with all kind of awesome seafood. I got to cook on 120-foot long boats. I cooked for Tommy Hilfiger. I did some cool things. I also spent 3 months going in and out of the Southampton hospital because I had an awful finger infection that was eating away my insides. So,
well, that was a lovely end to that story.
Well, I mean, you take the good with the bad. I still smile, don't I?
We were talking about that you're going to be on a houseboat soon and doing some hog hunting in the basin.
Well, I got to go to work for 4 days out in Baton Rouge, and was the only good thing about that is really hard labor. But the last day of it, I'll probably go spend the afternoon, evening, and next day on the houseboat in the middle of the basin, and we're gonna shoot pigs and bring the bow and arrow and try to shoot some big old garfish and catfish with the bow. It's not frogging season, which is crazy to me because last weekend was the frog festival in Kaplan or whatever. But we're gonna try to kill and cook every little critter that we can out there.
And you were saying, because I was asking you what the hog's diet was in the basin.
Mostly in the basin, they eat all the little succulents and little tiny things that fall, everything that drops a seed in the forest. When it sprouts up, they eat that. They eat the big old acorns that grow out there. They just stay on the high ground and move with the water. When the water gets low, they move, to different areas, and they just root around. They eat anything, though.
So the meat's typically good.
It's pretty good out there.
You said they just have a lot of ticks, but I mean,
anyway. Well, anything you kill, the farther out in the wilderness you kill it, the more things you're gonna have to deal with like that.
Jesse, it's always a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me, Tiff.
Thank you so much for coming on tonight. We'll have you. I think we need a Paul reunion the next time.
Listen, you set it up. I'm always available. I never talk to Paul, not for any reason. We're just busy men,
All right, that's our show. Thank you so much for tuning in. Join us next week, Sunday at 6 p.m. This is Tiffany Deku on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, and this is the Lafayette Food Junkie Show. Thanks for listening, and as always, happy eating, Acadiana.